I hope you already pressed that we're live.
What do you want to gamble on? Because we absolutely are live. I don't know how much of that got picked up, but hopefully some.
Hopefully all of it. Here we are. Ready. Maricopa, OHL.
I think it's Mayakoba.
Maricopa, it doesn't matter. Barracuda.
So,
yeah,
really, I think the question, you think that if you were, like Desert Island, rest of life, you could just eat breakfast all the time?
Yeah, I could. Let's see. We are actually live on the right thing. I just wanted to make sure before we started, unlike, I think that was last week where it got a little dangerous. Yes, last meal, I could definitely do bacon, egg, and cheese. No
Not
doubt.
last meal, like Desert Island meal. It's different.
Perpetual meal.
Yes.
Bacon, egg, and cheese. Yeah, no problem.
Interesting. I feel like I would wear out on that awfully fast. It's hard to pick something that has like the utility to like make you feel okay, but also you won't get super sick of. But
nah. Well, anyway, I could do that. Chat,
fine.
if you're with us, welcome. We're gonna break down some golf, but feel free to drop in what you would if you had to choose your last meal. Or if you're stranded on a desert island, you can only have this meal for the rest of your life.
Yes, very different questions. This is not, yes, desert island meal, not last meal. Yeah.
Okay.
Because last meal I'd eat like pasta with steak on it or something like that.
Okay, that's fair. Meal that you have to have every day for the rest of your life. Feel free to drop that in. Feel free to drop in golf questions because that is what we're here to talk about. Right off the top, Bronson Burgoon is withdrawn. He's out, so get him out. I was going to use him too. Yeah. So that's one less guy we got to worry about.
It's true. He is not playing tonight, which is, that's too bad. I mean, he's not playing tonight. That is true as well. But he's not playing tomorrow or Friday, which means he definitely won't be playing the weekend. So suboptimal play. It's
true. Don't do that. It's a little too aggressive for my taste, taking the straight 0.
Indeed. All right. Well, we did talk about a fair amount of this stuff yesterday, but just brief updates on what may have changed for us. Weather appears to not really be much of a big deal, which it's usually a little windy here. It is right on the water. The winds are projecting for like sustained 3 to 5. They're going to tear this place apart, and you're going to have no idea how it's happening.
This is not ideal. Like we saw last week, though, it doesn't mean, because I've checked the weather as well, it looks like it's non-existent. That doesn't mean we couldn't have a weather advantage. See, if you're making enough teams, throw a couple tee time stacks on both sides. It never hurts because you could get a stroke and a half over the 2 days, and you're that much more ahead of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't think anything was happening with the weather last week, and there was still there ended up being a pretty significant advantage. Yeah, all right. Get some input. Coolers would go with with a bulgogi beef rice bowl. Cool. With a Four Loko.
Not cool.
That might get
dangerous.
Tough. Did you ever have the original Four Loko?
What is the original?
Like, it used to have speed in it, and it basically got outlawed. It was like a minor internet phenomenon in like 2010 maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say So I did because that was when I was in college.
Yeah.
And obviously at UMass that was those things were everywhere. I don't drink caffeine. Like, felt like I was dying when I would take it. Was like a speedball. Like, I could not handle those.
Well, it was like a 24-ounce can that basically had it was like the alcohol of a 6-pack of High Life, and then and with 2 Red Bulls in it too. So yeah, if you had 2 of those, it was just like, what happened? We got some of that because you couldn't get it in Maine, but we went to Foxwoods for a buddy of mine's bachelor party that year, and we stopped at some places on the way and found a bunch of Four Loko. Definitely did a bunch of that and stayed up and all hours of the night. You don't know what time it is in the casino anyway, but pretty fun stuff.
Oh man,
pretty fun stuff. Anyway, Four Loko sucks now. That stuff's bad for you. Carl says quinoa with okra. I could see that. That's a good one to sort of last forever. You ever see that commercial where the guy's like, it's like an NFL commercial. What's quinoa? I always thought that was funny.
You got commercials I've never seen. You had one the other day. We did have one more. We had Diamond D.
I don't buy the black level cable that you have.
Yeah, next level platinum. Yeah, steak. Obviously, you could get like Wagyu every day. That wouldn't be the worst.
I think that would get rough, man. Like when we had those Wagyus in Vegas, like after 6 ounces was honest. It was like so rich. It was kind of tough to get through.
Rich. So right off the top, I just want to, and I'm not saying I'm not advocating people do this, but I just want to say I jammed in JJ Spaun. I like the spot, obviously 7,500. He is going to be really popular. He sets up great. The form is good. He was the specialist guy, which is honestly not something I clearly didn't want to see. That just inflates it even more. It's tough. I know I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth. I totally get the long-term prop. There's a lot of good pivots right there, so you could take a sliver, come in under. You have a decent chance. I just really think that he's going to play well. So I jammed him in and I worked around that. This is a tournament. We don't have shot tracker. I'm not playing full volume. I have 20 lineups in most things. Couple, a little higher dollar, but I'm not going crazy. So I think that's part of the reason why I'm playing a little more aggressive, because it's not overly expensive for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that makes sense. I am coming in on the sort of other end on JJ Spaun. I like the play, certainly, but at 20% owned, I'm going to come in a little under there. I don't think his probability of just crushing is really high enough. There's some other plays there that I don't really have a huge issue with, so I'm kind of working around it a little bit. But wow, shocked with an aggressive desert island meal. I think maybe going for last meal here, but 32-ounce steak butterfly covered in butter.
Every day would be tough, but so I mean with Spaun in particular, because do you think it's off base to say he's the highest owned player?
Yeah, I don't think highest owned, but I do think 20-ish.
Okay.
Let me look here. We have in-house.
We did have someone just in chat, and this is one of the many people just said, I like Denny McCarthy. Denny McCarthy, like Chris Kirk, like Kevin Chappell, are all the guys that you can get at a sliver of the ownership of JJ Spaun. And that's why I totally get if you don't get up over that leverage.
That's what I'm doing too. I mean, I'm MMEing. I'm also not taking it that seriously, but I do have a $156 lineup. So, yeah, I don't
have a portfolio.
Yeah, I'm not going to play 150 JJ Spaun lineups. That's crazy until it works, We have him 15% in-house.
I take the over personally.
Yeah, both Roto Grinders and Drewby have him closer to 20. So we have him 6th, 7th highest owned, and those guys have him more like top 3. So I think it's closer to certainly top 5. I think around 20% regardless. That's what you're looking at, and that's a little much for me to make an aggressive stand there. I don't want to play 22% JJ Spaun, and so that's not going to do anything, and I'm not really comfortable going to 40. So,
I'm just going to throw a couple names right off the top, just from chat. We had Jason Anderson. Thoughts on two of your boys, Matt Kuchar, who killed you last week, and Adam Hadwin, who you always love to play.
Who always killed me, yeah.
Who perpetually is a mess. Yep.
More into Kuchar. I'm going to be playing quite a bit of him, I think. He played well tee to green last week and just couldn't putt. And, who knows, maybe he's about to hit a putting slump. But, I mean, literally, we had Shot Tracker last week. I was following him closely. And he had, I don't know the number, but probably 12 or 15, literally 7, 8, 9-foot putts and was just missing all of them. He would get it. Because his irons were going really well. His approach game specifically was incredible. So he was hitting a lot of darts and just missing, putts that are coin flips for most people, and that someone like Matt Kuchar should be converting more at 62, 65%, and just didn't get any of them. So I can't imagine that stays.
Oh, and it's a new, this is in Mexico. It's a different, the greens there are going to be different than they were at Shriners. It's a situation where I'm much more interested in him this week. You were a week early, and you were right. He just didn't materialize on the putter, which is brutal. But no one really is going to notice that unless you dig in. Because if you look, big picture, you see, Kuchar, he played pretty bad again. The price, he got a drop, but it doesn't stand out massively. So I don't actually think he's going to be even that popular, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you've also got Answer right there, who should be super popular. So
the hometown guy.
Very into Kuchar. I will have a little bit of Hadwin, but I'm not as in love with that play. Carl says, remember when Andrew never rostered weak golfers like Hadwin? He does. Yeah, I remember that too. It's the brand is not having a brand. When I sort of started playing a lot, people didn't really look at distance a whole lot, and it was something I found to be exceedingly valuable, and you could get that. But I think, listen, I've been touting for a couple of years. The industry's catching up.
I played Hadwin before. It was cool. Then he got good, and I stopped. So I think that's worse. Like, I was playing Hadwin when he was awful, and then he actually became good, and I stopped.
Yeah, I wasn't. I missed it when he had that whole run last spring, like a year, almost 2 years ago.
So did I. I was too late, which is like I was playing. I caught him when he had a 59. That was the one good week I had with him.
Oh, I did have him randomly in cash that week he won, that was cool. But that was like the only good experience I've ever had with Adam Hadwin. Just kidding. I won a weekend golf tournament with Hadwin one time because he had like 50, he's a very good guy for that. He can get really crazy hot with.
And at a place like this where we just talked about, if there is no wind, this is a resort. Like, it's worth noting. Obviously, if you spray it, you're in the jungle. But if you don't, these guys are going to destroy this. And the way, even when you're cooking with your irons, it's not like you're hitting it to 1 foot. Like, you can stick it to 8 feet repeatedly. If you miss all your putts, that's not really going to work in a situation like this. And Hadwin is towards the top of a guy who can just rattle off 8, 10 in a row inside 10 feet. And that is super valuable in a birdie fest.
Yeah. And hit the occasional 25-footer, too. Like he's...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Badass.
I was just going to ask, I know we kind of jumping around, and that's this kind of tournament. I think that's fine. Did you have a preference up top, though?
I'm planning on. I have like over 50% Ricky. I'm just kind of jamming. That's my big That's definitely Ricky and Kuchar are my highest exposures. Planning on playing a ton of him, so do like it quite a bit. I have some. I have a little bit of Finau and a little bit of Woodland, and who's the other?
Spieth?
Oh, yeah, that guy's tough.
Yeah, he's not great.
I have like 8% Spieth. I'm coming in under. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I obviously like Ricky. He's clearly, to me, I know other people would say Finau, but to me, Ricky's clearly the best player here. I'm starting with him. Other than that, though, I did build, where someone in chat was asking about balance. Obviously you can do both always. We both, I think, like that 8K range a good amount. So I definitely have some teams that start with like someone like Griot and mixed and match the Niemans, the Kuchars, the Hadwins of the world. Then you can go down to Spaun and a couple, a cheapie or two. I like that build a lot. You're not sacrificing that much because Spieth is blah. Finau is a great player, obviously, and then Ricky's the favorite. You survive them, you could be in the driver's seat.
Yeah. I'm biting on Niemann this week.
Me too.
Yep.
God, he's going to be popular, but I hope it's not massive.
Sure enough. Guy that I have not been on lately, have heard his name a lot and was kind of like, oh, I don't know. And then kind of dug in a little bit, found a couple things I like about. Not sure he's going to be popular this week because he wasn't very good last week, but Mr. Carlos Ortiz. Going to have a little bit this week. First time.
Okay.
Great.
I honestly don't know if I've ever played him.
Yeah, I haven't.
It's always fun to just play a guy that you've actually never used. Where is he cheap? Where is his price? He lost 6 strokes putting last week, so that's a good thing. He's 6,700. That's good. He's another hometown guy. He's from Mexico, so should be familiar with types of these courses. I don't know if he's ever played it, outside of competition. I don't mind that. There's not that much sub 7K.
Do people in Europe, betting golf, are they like, oh, he's an American boy, he should do well in freaking Nevada, the guys from Florida.
People definitely. I mean, we saw at CJ Cup, Sunjun Im, Benny on. Like, it is a thing that people, I would say, overrate, and I'm guilty of it sometimes too. You're the catalyst of this. You always talk about that. Like, you're not a fan of.
Yeah.
like Scott Piercy in Vegas.
Yeah, there were like 6 dudes with the last name Kim at the CJ Cup, and they were all triple their normal ownership.
That's right. And I guarantee that Carlos Ortiz and Answer get some bump because they're Mexican.
Maybe, but I mean, the joke I was making there is that Mexico is also a big country, and like, do people in Europe think that some guy from Florida is going to do well, in Wisconsin? I was trying to think of a random. What's the one? There is one in Wisconsin, right? They played the Whistling Straits.
Yeah, Stricker, home base.
Stricker. Is that what you think of when you think of Whistling Straits?
No, when I think of golf in Wisconsin, I think of Steve Stricker, though he's the only golfer I know from Wisconsin.
Okay. I think of Jason Day, but
but he's from Ohio.
That's just me. Yeah, but he won the freaking PGA Championship there. I think that's a little more pertinent.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was at Whistling Straits. Anyway, is this late night? Yeah, this is late night. What's up, DFS 1983? Come on and stop on by.
Ponta likes Ricky as the player most likely to finish with fewest strokes taken. I like that sharp take.
Also, probably the winner then.
Oh yeah, it's really tough
barring penalties.
Yeah, is it possible?
I didn't think about that when Ricky at the Players got his ball stuck in the tray. Anyway.
Yeah, are those considered strokes taken if their strokes counted against you?
I think so. What about Aaron Wise? Another one of we both like him in life.
Yeah, I like him in life. He's really expensive. He'll be kind of popular. Is like a guy who does a lot off of the tee. I'm not like way into him at all, but
same.
I'll have a little because I'm MMEing, but I'm not going to play. I'm going to be under the field almost definitely. I think he should be 15% or so.
Another guy who can get stupid hot with the putter. It's a really expensive price tag. And like you said, I think this is a course where you're not going to be able to separate off the tee. Like even if you're dominant there, it's just going to give you better chances to stick these irons and stick these wedges, but you have to gain on the approach here. It's just not possible to compete. Like if Cameron Champ plays well this week, and I don't think he will, it's not going to be because he just dominates off the tee. He has to do something else.
That's true.
I know. Who we got? What about another one? Harold Varner. He's kind of a bomber too.
Yeah. I don't know. I sort of discussed this yesterday, but I liked him a lot last week. He was 2% owned last week. He competed. He was like right there, and I don't think he was ever winning, but he was in second or third most of the week, and then faded on Sunday a little bit. I don't think he'll be crazy popular, but I do think he'll be 8 or 9% owned, whereas last week he was 2, and that's enough of a difference for me to be a little gun shy. Don't like him as much.
Yeah.
Isn't he right next to Burgoon, too? So he might pick up some of that ownership.
So he is 70.
No, he's more.
Burgoon was $400 cheaper.
So it's got to be. It'll be Furyk that becomes the big chalk there. I think. That's a joke.
Yeah, who actually is going to pick up some of that is Danny Lee. Like no joke, which is absurd because they're both 6,900, and Danny Lee's playing well. Birdie Fest. I'm not opposed to playing him, but I do think people want to be aware that Burgoon did withdraw early enough where not that many people made their lineups, but still, people who were going to play him, they just slide in either Brian Gay or the person I just said that now his name escapes me. Who the hell did I just say?
Danny Lee.
Danny Lee.
America's favorite dog owner.
Sorry, I've been sweating low stakes, low D1 basketball all night.
Yeah, I decided to take a night off, quote unquote, in basketball, so I only played like 4 lineups.
I didn't play NBA, thank God.
And I put Hassan Whiteside on 2 of them, who
That's
almost
good.
has a triple-double at halftime. I also have Jetty Osman on 2 of them, who has a single, 1 rebound, and is out for the game.
That could be a problem.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I almost don't mind, like, bad Rory there. He didn't play that bad last week. It was mostly a putting issue.
Okay.
So I will have a little bit of him. I don't think it's a terrible play. He's, like, not that bad of a player. It's weird.
No,
but he's not.
He's not.
What do you make of this is a question I have for you, because I think I know what you're going to say, but our favorite, the social experiment that is Russell Henley, and there's another guy right there that is you're a fan of that I'm considering.
Okay, let me get to Russell Henley's price tag. So here's the deal with Russell Henley. He's obviously not playing well. He's clearly, I think, legitimately one of like the 8 to 10 best players in this field if you actually prorate it out.
Russell Henley, yeah.
But he's not near that right now. I don't think that you get burned by not playing him. Even if I'm not saying he can't make the cut, I'm not saying he can't play well. It just really doesn't seem like the form is there. Kevin Streelman is right next to him, who I definitely prefer. Not that he's playing great, but he does like this course. Definitely showing more signs of life. So I would rather go there. Or, honestly, Bud Cauley's right there, who's been impressive. He seems fine from the car accident.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
What about Albertson? He's the one guy I didn't mention.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a little bit. Ponta says I would pay $1,800 for Russ Henley to withdraw.
That's not
might consider that.
Thing I've ever seen.
Might throw in a couple hundo on that if they would take a package deal. Jack says I should play on FanDuel. That lowest score would be dropped. That's the thing. I've been playing primarily on FanDuel so I can have more family time to hang out with the dog. But tonight I played on DraftKings because I wasn't really playing, and I figured I could manage 4 lineups. So let's stop talking about basketball.
Another guy, same range.
Oh, the guy I meant, the guy I was actually considering a little bit. It wasn't Streelman that I was thinking was your boy. Is freaking Peter Malnati. What do you make of that dude this week? I actually sort of think he's in play.
Oh no, Peter Malnati is definitely in play. He's a very, very good putter. He's shown some signs of life. Gained with the approaches last week. His weakest club is off the tee, and I'm hoping that some of that is due to, because he's not a long hitter, that when you don't hit it long, you have to hit it straight to gain, like Molinari. Most guys, not everyone's like Wesley Brown, where they hit it short and spray. That's really hard to do. So I think Molinari's more in the bucket that he just doesn't get the distance. At a place like this, that's not going to hurt him. If he can get opportunities with the irons, put him in play. He can putt the lights out. I do have some.
I have him in some my higher dollar lineups right now.
Okay, you might be, say if you use that in the signature hole, I think there's a chance you're the only person. Opposite type of player, but I thought you were going to go to Lahiri, who is playing awful. This is a course though that I think is going to really suit him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Lahiri.
At a birdie fest, if he does not spray, and it's funny, that's how you get in trouble here, and it's not like guys won't, but man, you really should not be able to. It's such a short course.
Yeah, the thing is, though, you've still got 3 par 5s, and you got to drive on those, and you got to score on them. So if Lahiri, screws the pooch on a pair of those this week, and all of a sudden is making a 7 on a 5. To get ugly.
No, that's true. I feel like on par 5s though, it's not like long par 4s where you have to drive and then you can really just don't hit it out of bounds and you can you can scramble and get birdie relatively easy. These aren't monster par 5s.
True.
Put it in play.
No, they're playing half a stroke under par, which is why you're screwed. You're actively in trouble if you don't birdie them.
No doubt about that. If you hit a 7 on a par 5 this week, you're losing almost 4 strokes. You're in huge trouble.
Yeah,
not 4 strokes, but it's bad.
Achilles wanted to know what kind of dog I have. She's a rescue lab pointer for sure. A lot of pointer. She's really tall. She's got tall and long. Picture Kevin Durant. But yeah, she's a cute dog. But
dogs are awesome.
Don't really know. I was thinking about getting her one of those DNA tests as a Christmas present. You know what I mean? Think she'd be excited about that, so that she can find out she's,
Ancestry.com.
yeah, 12.2% Australian Shepherd or whatever.
Yeah, man. Australian cattle dogs.
That's what I meant to say. I think she actually is part that.
Those dogs are awesome.
Yeah, you know what they also do? Shed like crazy.
I could see that.
I bought the best investment. I bought like a $500 vacuum cleaner, and it's one of the better investments I've made in my life because I have to use it twice a day. Continuing on, so we've got Peter Malnati squared away. That's perfect.
Do you have any and Ryan Blaum?
No, I don't. What? I don't play that guy. No, I'm just laughing at the chat. It's getting dark. It's good stuff. But no, I don't have any. I wasn't really planning on it. Do I need to? Should I? Are you talking me into it again?
I mean, I would say that he helped me last week by making the cut, but that was a lie because he was so incredibly bad. But this is a situation where and this is a deep field, do you need to play Ryan Blom? I don't think it's overly important. But if you're looking for a guy sub 7K, he lost 9 strokes putting last week. When you do something that ridiculous, I don't really read much into the rest of your, it's like, that's such a debilitating thing. I think that affects everything. So he's a guy I've been playing a little. The form is actually decent. He makes a lot of cuts, throws up some T15s, T20s in there. Big field tournament, I just don't know how high that ceiling is. But in a small thing, I wouldn't mind structuring him to be a solo because you'll get him by yourself in like a 20-man.
All right. Yeah, I mean, whatever. No, shed Diamond. Not shit. She sheds a lot. She does not shit in the house because she's potty trained. Although, sometime, if you think of it, you should ask, the esteemed Josh Engelman about his experience with a Roomba and his dog pooping. Just messy one. That would be awful.
It's not good.
Spreading it all over. That's so bad. Okay, continuing on. Do you want to get egregious? Do you have any other strong takes? How much do you like Kisner? I like Kisner.
I like him too. I get it. Again, one of the guys, we don't know where the form is. Talent-wise, he's towards the top of this field, and he's only 7,700. He's in play, but do I feel super confident about it? No, I don't have him in the even thought process for cash. Do you?
No, not for cash.
Okay. So yeah, great. I think a great tournament should suit the course, should suit him. Another great putter. Form was spotty last year. It wasn't the best. So this could be a buy low spot on a guy like that.
Yep, I think so. These are pretty slow greens, I think, too. And Kisner is definitely a guy who does better on that.
Richie Rowinski. That's a guy that Tim liked.
Yeah,
he mentioned him yesterday. Good iron player. Still nothing more than a kind of a tournament guy. The appealing thing is he's 6,400. And for me, it's just JT Boston and him down there. I don't see much else that, like Vaughn Taylor, he just doesn't have enough upside at a birdie fest for me.
Okay. Sorry, I was looking at...
Are you playing cash?
No, not at the moment. I may enter some double ups just to stay sharp, but
yeah, I'm playing like cash, nothing crazy. Not Chucky 3 sticks. No, don't. I just prefer Griot strongly there. I think he's fine. Again, these tournaments, if you're in the upper echelon of talent, you're in play just on that alone. And the problem with him is, even in weaker fields, he hasn't gotten that artificial boost that I thought he would in terms of breaking through.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a big... I'm not playing Howell at 9,500.
That's the thing. Yeah.
If he goes back down to 7,300 for the whole California swing, I'll have him in cash every single week. But
so and did that last year. Didn't do it 2 years ago. He's very useful, and it's not again. These guys, they don't win until they win. I know that sounds, but like Paul Casey is the same way.
Sure.
It's just
it's touting 101. Always leave yourself outs.
That's right. Yeah. Well, Tony Finau's, blah 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 blah.
Very good player, that Tony Finau. I don't have it. But I thought he was a good play. Assuming he does well. I was totally in the playbook.
I mean, if he doesn't win, he could play well or not.
Right. But, there's a range of outcomes with someone like that, which includes winning and losing.
CH3, I've just so many times in weaker fields, I thought that, okay, he's going to be able to get more placement points. And that's what there becomes a point when you reach a certain tier of pricing where you're reliant not just on making the cut. You got to perform. You got to grab not 2 placement points. And he seems to be unable to do that.
Yep, I'm with you there. Yeah, that's the main argument against him. Yeah, at that price tag, you're gonna need some placement points. Not so sure about that. Okay, I do have a list here from our friend FK Coolers. Would you like to talk about some? These guys aren't even that egregious. Well, they are. They're like, this is a bunch of good players that are playing like crap. Henley, we discussed. I'm gonna have some. I don't know. I might just cancel the field. He's only going to be like 10% owned.
If I was playing more lineups, I might take a stab, but not going to make it for me. I also have a name from chat that I want to throw in this list. He fits anyway.
Okay. Your boy, Joel Dahman. Didn't we talk about him yesterday?
Yeah. The irons have cooled off a lot. I don't see the need to go there.
Yeah, he stinks. Good Rory will hopefully shows up this week. And hopefully it's bad Rory and... is there a Euro Tour tournament this week?
He's playing.
Good. Rory McIlroy is playing it?
Yep.
Nice. What's the tournament?
I think it's the Need Bank. It's something with Gary Player.
Yeah, Nedbank and MyBank are both the same thing. Okay. I mean, they're not. No, I'm sorry, they're not the same thing, but they're both confirmed events, I believe.
One of those.
Great. So we'll see which Rory is which. I'm willing to take a bit of a shot on Sabatini showing up here. Crappy field. So I'll have a little bit. Johnny Vegas.
I don't think this is the course for him. That's my first thought. And he's the kind of guy, course fit, I weigh a little heavier with him. It seems like he likes certain places.
Yeah. He's bad when he's bad. Your boy Bud Cauley. Yeah, I'm going to buy some. You talked me off of it last week because you actively don't like my bankroll and you're trying to hurt me. Bud Cauley. I'm just kidding. I'm responsible for my own decisions, but you owe me.
Sure.
Classic. Oh, classic. Who was that? I missed that. I don't miss that person.
Yeah.
I'll have some Bud Cauley for sure. Me too. Jamie Lovemark, another guy that's like not. It's it's all T stuff for him. He just hasn't really had the crazy upside in like ever really. So I'm not scared of him in tournaments, and I don't like his fit for something like cash.
I don't love the fit. Last year I jumped on for a while, and he was actually playing pretty well. And then I was getting really fortunate breaks in the sense he gained a ton of strokes around the green. He had a couple hot putting rounds. The irons are just not the staple, and I'm kind of with you. I wouldn't mind it, but with limited lineups, he's not a guy I'm really prioritizing.
Fair enough. What do we do with Charlie Hoffman?
For me, he's in the Kisner bucket. Talented, stronger fields. I mean, we've seen this guy at majors show a flash. The form isn't great. I think the course fit is pretty good, though. So he's a guy I plan to get over, pending that the field. What do you think about ownership there?
On Charlie? I mean, just because his name stands out, I think that
10%?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'll probably get right over. Maybe, not a huge position, though.
Oh, we've got him at 10, but the other two have him more around 4.
I'm more with us there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know, because, there is Killer Keith right there. We'll probably pick up some, and then JJ and Cam Davis are going to be, probably the overwhelming shot there. And Im is right there, too, and everybody likes
Yeah.
him. What do you make of him this week?
Uh, I have some. I don't mind it. I think he's, some of the buzz has worn off. He was getting a lot of love as the up and coming Webby. Went to Korea, was Um, and he's played pretty well in my opinion. I think he's actually looked good. So in a situation like this, I think he's a fine play. Him and Patrick Rogers are two guys that I'm going to be overweight on. I played Patrick Rogers last week. He wasn't great, but he did not kill me.
You're going to be overweight on him?
I plan to be, 15, 20% gets me over.
Barely.
I was hoping he was like 12.
Well, we've got him 12. It's between 12 and 16. So,
Okay. I mean, we'll see. There's just a lot of names there in that from the 8Ks even to the mid 7s, there's not maybe Bill Haas, but other than that, I don't see many guys where there's going to be super low ownership.
Yeah.
So I just thought that might disperse some of the IM exposure.
Yeah. I think he's more in play than he was the last couple weeks. A bit of a price drop. Don't hate it, but I just my concern with him in the first place when he was coming out is that I think he's going to be a bit of a top 40 machine, which is fine, but that's not it's not something you're deathly afraid of in tournaments. I just don't really see him. I think that's what he's going to be. I don't know for sure yet, but that's my initial read. I don't think
he's been, he's got a 4th and 15th. He's been pretty good and a little more erratic than I thought he would be too. And the price, I think it's pretty fair. I don't think it's a bargain, but at the same time, it's not overly premium.
Yep. Patrick Rogers was on the list too. You're buying again?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep playing him. That's early in the year. I talk about this a lot. It's hard to pinpoint stuff, and people jump on and off wildly. I sometimes build in kind of like quadrants almost. So it's like I played Patrick Rogers last week. I'm gonna play him this week, and if something changes, I will adjust. But based off of a fine week last week, there's no reason for me to jump off now.
Okay. What was that? Never mind. No, not that. It was the quadrants thing. I wasn't quite following, but I was sort of
just
like
building in a section. I don't know if quadrants is the right word. I'll say, you know what, I like this guy and I'm going to play him for a couple weeks. So even if he gets cut the first week, it's not like I just abandon ship, because sometimes you can be right on a play, you're just wrong at the nailing the exact tournament where the guy's going to do things. I don't. Even though you have to adjust each week, I still think if you like the guy last week for a reason that's beyond a course, you should stick with it. If you don't think you got the result, it's 1 week. It's very high variance.
Yep. Yeah, I'd buy that.
So many people jump I
play like that too. I don't know. I was half paying attention and quadrant stuck out at me.
Yeah, it's a weird word.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that... It's a word. It is what it is. Okay. And then the last one was HV3, who we did talk about, little more popular and a little less of a fit, I think. So not loving it this week. And then Kevin Chappell, who I'm gonna have too much of as usual.
I mean, I'm so jamming Spaun that negated it a little, but I definitely have some Chappell. Guys, just. He's one of the better golfers in this field, regardless. He's a good player.
He sure is.
The guy I wanted to bring up was J.B. Holmes.
Not a good player.
Not a good player. Sprayer. You're more of a... I mean, do you think he can...
I know I have a reputation for whatever... I mean, because I liked him. I did like him a lot. I used to play him a lot. I was a big fan for a long time. He's been bad for a while, and the only time he's shown up has been his he's had 2 random 10 strokes gained putting performances. He did finally pay right. The second big ass tournament I won this summer was him at the Travelers, where he came in second, and that was Bubba and JB finally paid me back for the insane amount of money I lost on them in 2017. Got all of it back and more. Sometimes it takes a while. It's like 18 months later.
He's had a huge start to the year, though, for what it's worth. Like, he is clearly in form right now.
Mm-hmm.
The appeal is because Neiman is right there. I don't think anyone's going to even list to an extent. Those guys, I would say, are going to be under-owned. I don't mind JB Holmes this week. I'm actually going to take a couple shares. Like I said, I think the form is good enough where he's found something. He's gaining strokes across the board, it seems like. And that's not the worst thing. Okay,
fine. It's not going to be particularly hard to talk me into JB Holmes either. So.
He's just, I mean, have you seen, he came in, he was 9th at Safeway, 13th at CIMB, and 23rd at the CJ Cup.
That's just a fire run, eviscerating those.
I mean, it's better than he had a nice run of miscut, 61st, miscut right before that.
Yeah.
He also, and again, you could say what you want about this, but if you do look, and it's been apparent, he gets hot in clusters. Now, when it jumps off and when it starts, it's very hard to predict that, but he does seem to get it rolling, get a hot putter, maybe. You know, even though he's a bad putter, he is a guy who's shown a little that he can get really hot.
He's actually a low-key, like, amazing wind player, too, if the wind, but, I mean, there's no wind, but whatever. He's just such a beast. He's so strong. He's got those, like, did Charlie Hoffman have, like, the biggest forearms on anyone?
Easy.
Paul, yeah, also very fit dude. DJ, you know, he can dunk.
Good for him.
It's like the movie Cube. Ben's golfers have to solve a puzzle or they die. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Cube. It's messed up, dude. I saw it back in my, like, big time, you know, like 19 years old, way into, like, smoking weed, and it just, like, really messed me up. It's a very strange movie.
I'll have to research.
Like
Probably will never watch it.
It's like the weird sci-fi thing where these people end up in this box and just die.
Sounds terrible. Yeah. And the wedge game is solid with Holmes. Good point, Rich. That's true. If he can keep this driver in play, he is a good wedge player.
That's fair. Listen, I'm willing to be talked into this. I had somewhat mentally written off JB Holmes. But.
It's more in a vacuum, like I said. Part of it is because Neiman, and I like Neiman, don't get me wrong, but man, you're going to get 1/5. I think maybe it could be even more.
Yeah. I have Neiman in some lineups where I have, because there's a fair amount of, like, kind of wacky plays I like this week. So I'm not like I'm finding myself okay with playing Neiman just because I have enough other differentiation spots and I do genuinely like the play. So I haven't really needed a lot of get me off of him moments, but if I do, I'll throw some JB in there. Maybe playing both.
That would be different. You could build like that, though. All right, what else do we got here? Cool Runnings. You can't get.
Yeah, did you see you got roasted for watching Cool Runnings 500 times and not being willing to take a shot?
I haven't seen Cool Runnings that many times.
Only 13, 14?
Nah, maybe like 3 times.
I really liked that movie back.
Tight. The last time I dressed up for Halloween, I was the Cool Runnings. I was a Jamaican bobsled team, though.
You were the whole team, or you? Yeah, 4 friends?
Me and 3 imaginary friends. We did that. It was fun. Good times.
Veering towards Megyn Kelly territory. We should get off of this subject.
No. We're very we're woke, as they say. You know, we're not stooges. Anyway, Sam Ryder. Are you interested in Sam Ryder? He somehow eluded this conversation so far.
I don't know. I'm not really. Do you want to talk about that? Sam Ryder and Sam Burns are not my accounts.
Well, they're not our accounts, is what you should say, because I'm not a huge Sam Burns, Sam Ryder fan. Sam Ryder is right now playing real good golf. He was 4th at Safeway, 3rd at Shriners. Just really good with the approaches. Again, it's a situation where I totally get playing him. He's sandwiched between Neiman and Ryan Moore. those guys are just guys I'm more comfortable with. Like I've played them a lot and they're good and I think they fit the course. Sam Ryder may be great. He may turn out to be an awesome player. All I'm banging on is his recent form and his irons, which is a decent combo right now. I just prefer to roll with the other two over him. But
Okay.
I get it.
Yeah. I'm right there too. 8,700 is a lot of.
I mean, he's playing great. There's no doubt. But give me Ryan Moore or Neiman.
Mm-hmm. And that just, general philosophy for, I think, both of us, where we're not usually playing the guys that just got a huge bump in price and ownership. It's just...
Yeah. Sam Ryder...
sometimes it makes you look stupid. But
of course.
Most of the time, it's over the long haul, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Ryder is priced like he's playing. And the way he's playing, I don't think is how he's going to...
Yep.
He's playing fantastic.
Yeah. Throw a little first-round leader on him so that when people are adding you in Slack.
I bet Spaun to win this at 70-1. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And Neiman.
What's he, like in the 20s?
Oh, 38 I got. Not bad.
No. I had a good night betting on the... Well, no, I had a good night for a long time betting on the elections last night, and then just pissed it all away at the last minute. There was some random house race in California that took a big swing, and it was like, ooh. Then I thought it was over, and then I looked this morning, and it was like, oh wow, that was. So I basically broke even last night. It's kind of frustrating because I grinded for Ponce and I were grinding election bets for a long time. It was.
I should have had a big night in college basketball. I had a great bet, and I hit it. But now I, in hindsight, realize I should have done more with that. Louisiana Tech. 10-point dogs, one outright. Because Wichita State is not good this year. For anyone watching, Wichita State going to be a long year for the Shockers. We've covered a lot of dudes here in this tournament.
Yeah, it's been a good. This has been a good overall. What do you call it? A show.
Show.
It's good interaction. We had some cool questions, fun stuff to talk about, and we got to talk about shitty golfers at a shitty tournament. So.
Yeah, I mean, we all got a couple more for this, and then golf shuts down for a little. I will just say, if people are watching the golf show that don't watch the other stuff we do through the week, NFL, obviously, we have 3 fellas talking football tomorrow night. Stop on by after you give us a nice like tonight.
Yeah, subscribe, like us.
There's a good showdown play tomorrow. Steelers-Panthers is actually worth watching.
Yeah, that's a dope game. Yeah, I agree. We do main slate breakdown on Friday as well. Friday afternoons. Go do a little position by position. You want to hear the least surprising take ever? It's from Karl Marx Esquire.
What does he have to say?
Ryder is no flash in the pan. Gents, you can book that.
Probably not. I don't really think he's a flash in the pan, but he's priced like he's as good as Neiman and Ryan Moore. And I honestly don't know how big of ownership discount you're going to get.
No, I don't think you're going to get much of one.
I mean, if you want to just take it at simplest form, if 2 guys are the same ownership, you should just pick the guy that you think is going to be better. Straight up. So if you say those 3 are the same, I would put him third between Moore, Neiman, and him at this event. Simple as that.
Yeah. I think that is pretty fair.
It's not like Tony Finau, who's 40% owned for weeks on end.
Right, yeah. Tony Finau, good player. There's a lot of the time, there's different reasons to do different
things. People hate Tony Finau.
They do. People think I don't like Tony Finau now, and I was like I drove the bandwagon off of the fucking cliff several times.
I'm never huge on him, though, to be honest.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. You hate Tony Finau.
Maybe.
It's because he's good at golf. You just like people that are bad. You like you like college basketball. You like, guys that can't drive the ball.
Did you see Zion Williamson last night?
Excited to watch Bills Jets. Are you more excited to watch Bills Jets now that Darnold's going to be out?
No. I wanted to see Darnold in there. Seriously, though, did you see Zion Williamson last night?
No, I don't watch college basketball. But I will probably watch a couple Duke games this year. Are they literally going to be the top 3 picks?
I'd say two of them seem borderline surefire.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, it's a long season for all you dookies out there, but my God, did that guy look phenomenal. Really good.
I mean, the problem with college basketball is they cannot play defense at all, and like don't even have offensive sets really. Like it's a free for all, which is like fun if you're into heart people diving, but you can watch Marcus Smart do that in an actual system that works.
It's not working too well right now. What's up with your boys?
Too much talent, man. It's tough. It's tough when you got a million awesome players.
Like this tournament. It's too many guys to choose from. All right. Well, do we have we got to get our hot take portion of the show. Chad, if you have any other questions, drop them in there. Can be any golfers or just life related. Anyway, what was our hot takes last week? Do you remember?
Yeah, mine wasn't good. What the hell was it?
Mine was Patrick Rogers comes in the top 10. He did not.
Oh, yeah.
He
mine
was
was
all right.
Piercy misses the cut.
So we both missed on that.
I got one this week.
Okay. Start us off.
Should be just about the same odds as your Patrick Rogers call from last week. Same price. I'm going to go with Matt Kuchar top 10s.
Matt Kuchar top 10s.
Mm-hmm.
It's less hot than mine last week.
Not according to Las Vegas Sportsbook.com. That's your hot fire. Put your bookie in a body bag pick this week.
Oh man! Once we get like super graphics on the show, we really need something that does that. Put your body bag. Put your bookie in a body bag section of this show. God.
Especially because we're going to be doing it on the main Tuesday show, and we'll be queuing up Tim, who is just going to have zero emotion afterwards and be like, yeah, I like Kevin Chappell because he can't putt. It's like, hot fire.
Just, we need the horn.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about the rap horn. It was more helpful with Carl. We're going to have to get Carl on one of these sometime. I figured out I have a 3-man graphic. He's going to be called Fantasy Golf Man, but shouts to Dan for the artwork. I love this Halloween one. Gonna keep it forever. So, rolling with that. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with. Where do I have to put Lahiri? I can't put him in the top 10.
Do I have really want to put Lahiri anywhere?
Yeah, as a real dark horse, he could be 1-2% this week. I think he's a legitimate if you're making some aggressive tournament lineups this week. Yeah.
Okay, what do you want to do then?
I'll say
top
no
3.
one.
Lahiri top 3 versus Kuchar top 10. Let's put it on the board.
What is it?
Lahiri top 3 versus Kuchar top 10.
I'll say he beats Kuchar. How's that?
Oh wow.
There it is. From the top rope.
Yeah, that's a spicy take there, buddy. Glad I talked you into that. Easy money.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Whatever. That's one of those. Lahiri has the upside. That's not the problem. He just probably only plays 2 rounds if he starts spraying it.
Yeah. What was I doing here?
Nothing. You got anything else? We covered this pretty good. If, obviously drop in Slack. And sign up. If you haven't signed up, obviously, just sign up. Come on in.
Check it out for a week. See what happens.
Why not? What's the worst that could happen?
Nuclear war.
Yeah.
What?
That's all I got.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thanks everyone for listening, tuning in. Like us if you can. We will be back tomorrow night, an hour before the football, or more than an hour before. We'll be on 5-10 after 7 as soon as Eddie and Josh or Eddie and Chris or somebody gets done with live Up Till Lock NBA show. So you can tilt along with NBA while you make NFL lineups. hopefully your golf teams are going well. And oh my god, it was going so well, you know, like I had this wrapping up and I had a place for it to go, and just
it's time for a late night show. What can we say? Catch us tomorrow. Good luck out there.